Hello, friends, and let's take a look at the astrology for August of 2024. Y'all, I'm not going to lie, this is a crazy month, so hold on tight. There is a lot happening in the skies this month. A lot of it is very nuanced. So I'm going to try to keep this at a high level because there's so much involved with the astrology of August. But I'm going to try to kind of like bring it down to a level that's understandable and relatable. So let's dive right in. So, first and foremost, we are in August at some point sitting in the shadow period right before eclipse season. So just be aware that eclipse season that begins in September and continues into October. So just know that it is a-okay to be feeling a little bit overwhelmed or like big changes might be afoot, or that we are in this time period where it feels like there might be something big right around the corner. So I just bring this to you for awareness purposes, not that there's anything to do or to know about anything other than the fact that they are on their way in and their energy can be felt for weeks ahead of time. So come the end of the month, just know that we are stepping more strongly into eclipse season with every passing week. But let's dive right into August. The second During this first week of August, we have Venus in Leo making a square to Uranus in Taurus. So, what does that mean? It just means the planet of self worth and self value. Um, in this playful, childlike sign of Leo is forming a tension point with a powerful planet of transformation and change that is in the sign that is seated at the foundations of our lives. So no big deal, right? So just be aware of how this might show up for you around the beginning of the month on August 2nd. On August 4th, we have the new moon in Leo because we are still in Leo season at this point. So it's a wonderful time to set intentions for how you might want to reconnect with your inner child, both in the sense of what is it that you want to invite into your world that invites more play and spontaneity and passion and curiosity, while also looking at what is it that your inner child might need from you, the adult version right now. So let's kind of keep that at the forefront on August 4th. Then on the 5th, Mercury steps into its retrograde pattern. So just a heads up, it will stay retrograde until August 28th. This is not all doom and gloom, but Mercury being the planet of communication, of technology, of new ideas, instead of moving forward in the sky or seeming to move forward, well, instead of moving forward in the sky, it is going to be sitting kind of still, which presents this illusion of moving backwards. But it's not actually moving backwards. So that just means that we are going to be in a space where thinking, new ideas, new projects, communicating, all of these things, it's a time for us to kind of sit in receptivity instead of taking action. So maybe around the 5th to the 28th of August, we're listening more clearly and more acutely to the information that's coming in. Mid-month, we have this really powerful time of the month. Oh, Mars, let's start with the 14th. Mars joins Jupiter in the sky in the sign of Gemini. Gemini is the sign of everything Mercury, because Mercury is its ruling planet. So everything we just talked about, right? Communication, new ideas, new projects, new goals, new thoughts, thought formation, thought creation, all of this new type of energy. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So we could be having all of these really powerful, big, lofty ideas. Jupiter is the planet of philosophy and theology and faith and spirituality and travel and how we expand our minds. Coming into Gemini, which is the sign that rules thought creation, our ideas might be bigger than ever, right? And then we have Mars sitting right on top of Jupiter, which brings the power of action to the picture. So this is all happening in a position in the sky that is what's known when it's aligned perfectly as a grand cross. You can look that up. What is grand cross energy, or what is a grand cross in astrology? This is a mutable grand cross type energy. And I say it's a mutable grand cross type energy because this square action, or this square, aspect is not exact. These four planets that I'm going to be telling you about are not sitting exactly in a 90-degree angle to one another, nor are they even within about the 5 degrees that astrologers like to claim as being powerful enough to really bring forward their action. But I'm bringing it forward because it is so close to being in that 5 degrees and this mutable grand cross energy that I would feel remiss if I didn't call your attention to it. So this is happening with that Mars-Jupiter conjunction in Gemini, which could also be related to our jobs, because it's sitting right at the midheaven. Again, terminology. But this type of energy kind of brings forward new ideas without really being able to fully solidify how to bring them into play. That's the mutable Grand Cross energy. Um, and it's happening, the Mars and Jupiter conjunction happening in a square to Saturn, which is in Pisces right now, all about the to-do lists, how we spend our time doing what we do, why we spend our time doing what we do, what is on that actual long list of to-dos, which is happening in a square-ish to the moon, which is happening in a square-ish to Venus and Virgo, self-worth, self-value, and the sign of organization and new routines. And maybe, it's a time for us to put new health initiatives into action for ourselves, both physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional. So all of these things, new ideas, action potential energy, looking at our jobs and our to-do lists, and why are we spending so much time doing what we do? How do we spend so much time doing what we do? The moon ties to our emotions and this self-worth, self-value in this sign of new routines and organization and all of that. This is what we're talking about mid-month. These are not easy topics. They are not things that we'll just breeze right through. And this is not a mutable grand cross by definition. It's just that these squares are happening close enough to the 5 or so degrees of variation that we believe the energy to be kind of pulling itself forward, that I'm going to bring it to you to just be aware if this is happening, or any of these things that are kind of coming to the forefront mid-month for you. Then on the 19th, we have a full moon in Aquarius. This is a wonderful time to look at our needs versus the humanity, all of the groups and the people and the things that we keep around us. What are their needs? How are we continuing to serve them while also serving our own needs? What do we need to let go of on our own needs that we can allow ourselves to continue to serve others? And that kind of duality between our needs and humanity's needs. The larger group doesn't have to be all of the world, right? The larger group as a whole, whatever that group is for you. So what are we releasing to let go of to make space for newness here? This is also on the 19th, a powerful time of transition and change in those areas, because this is a very rare second blue moon that is happening just after July's blue moon on the 21st. So it is very rare that we have 2 back-to-back blue moons. Just be aware that this brings with it an extra powerful opportunity for us to really kind of make space for newness in those areas. Then on the 20th, we have more squares happening. I'm not going to get into all of the details on that, but just know that this is another potential point of tension. On the 20th, having to do with the sign or the planet of the self and how we communicate and the foundations of our worlds, as well as this Mars-Jupiter conjunction and the Virgo square kind of still being present. So then on the 22nd, we welcome Virgo season. So happy birthday, Virgo. This is a time of the year where we really look at all of the new ideas and thought patterns and things that we have been hoping to instill throughout the spring and into the summer, and we're looking at really putting form and structure around how to make it reality. So you could be more inclined to really clean up your space, to clean up your body, to put your body in motion, to create new routines. Maybe that's the food you eat, the exercise you do, um, the um, the routines you have around your mental health, connecting with friends, whatever it is. Virgo is the time of the year where we really take action into making structures that help us to carry forward. On the 28th, Mercury ends its retrograde period and it turns direct. So be aware of that. That again, August 5th through the 28th, Mercury is in retrograde, but come the end of the month, we are released from that quiet space of receptivity that we've been sitting in, kind of taking in information so that we can integrate it and then prepare to act on it as we move forward. So it is a jam-packed month, my friends. Hold on tight and just know again that none of this is anything more than just awareness of anything that comes your way in your heart and in your soul that says, man, I should be feeling one way, or I should be doing one thing, or why can't I do X, or why can't I feel Y? Um, it's all happening in the perfect time in its own way through the expression of the planetary alignments that we just discussed. So take some of the pressure off of yourself while knowing that you still need to show up and do the thing or the things in your world that are required of you. Just know that if there's some internal discord around what, like, why you can't feel or why you do feel a certain way about whatever it is, that a lot of it can be tied back to the alignments of the planets. And guess what? The good news is they are always moving, so they will always fall into and out of alignment with one another. Take extra good care. I'll see you in September.